Good afternoon, everyone. My dear students, I hope you all of you are aware about the first term online examination. So already you all of you received the question paper pattern and as well as the syllabus for online examination. Okay. See, I would like to revise once again. Then don't think if sir is going to revise means he is going to give some of the important questions and answers. No, dear students. So it is my kind request is you all of you go through the textbook. You must read the textbook. Even the back of the lesson, whatever is there, the number of questions or whatever the other the activities, it is so less. Understood? So it is my kind request once again. Please read textbook thoroughly. Okay. So already history textbooks are available in school. Those who are not collected, so please come and collect textbook also. Just I would like to explain once again the same lessons which will come to examination. So here you don't feel which is important and which is not unimportant. So everything is important, okay, in almost all subjects. Got it, dear students? So the question paper for you all of you knows that 80 marks. Okay. So in that there are 18 MCQs and then I mean the objective types and then six keywords and short type answers 10 questions are there and then long answers there are 6 questions and map. So you have to study for map all the three lessons, especially the second chapter. Okay, the second chapter of history. So there you are going to get the almost all you can try to cover the maps which are given especially for 6 months. So dear students, scoring good marks in map, that is also one of the art and it is like the pocket marks. Okay, so it is like a pocket marks, so that's what, don't lose, refer carefully the maps. You are going to get printed map. Okay, so there is no doubt, you no need to draw any map also, just you needs to be identified the places or the location and finding out all those things only will come to exam. Now, I would like to explain once again the first chapter, how, when, and where. So, dear students, in this, we knows that history, it is a, all of you knows that the definition of the history because since many years you are learning history as a separate subject. So, here, to write an history of anything, whether any country, any dynasty, or any in the world even. So the dates are very much important. Without consultation, I mean, without help of the dates, and even without help of the geography. So we cannot construct the history. It's too difficult. If anybody, especially the historians, they were fascinated with dates. Otherwise, we are in confusion. Which event, which incident, in which date, what is first, what is next, so on and so forth. So, there were heated debates about the dates on which rulers were crowned, or battles were fought, or in the common sense of a notion, history was synonymous with the dates. See, you may have heard people say, I find history boring sometimes because it is all about mentioning and memorizing the dates. No, students. So, is such a concept sense true? No. History, it is one of the important subject. Even just you can observe the most of the IAS and officers, so they used to cover social science to become a IAS and IPS officers. Understood? So it is one of the interesting subject. But the thing is that how you are going to receive, it's completely depend upon that. See, living in the world, we do not always ask historical questions about what we see around us. We take things for granted as if what we see has always been in the world we inhabit. But most of us have our moments of wonder when we are curious and we ask questions that actually are historical. So once again, I would like to remember history is a study of past, and as well as history is a study of inquiry, and as well as history is a study of events also. Then I would like to remember one more thing to know the significance of study of history, especially. I would like to note Dr. B.R. Ambedkar quote. ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಮರೆತವರು ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸಲಾರರು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಇತಿಹಾಸವನ್ನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಈ ರೀತಿ ದಿನ ಕಳೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿ ಹೀಗಿದೆ, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನದ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಜೀವನ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಹೀಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್. ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ನೌ? ಸೊ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ವಿಚಾರಗಳು, ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಹ ನಿರ್ಧಾರ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಏನು, ನಾಳೆ ದಿನ ಹೇಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಓಕೆ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ನಾವು ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ discuss about some more important regarding doubts. So dear students, by what criteria do we choose a set of dates as important? How can we choose? See, the dates we select, the dates around which we compose our story of the past, are not important on their own. They become vital because we focus on a particular set of events as important. ಬಹಳ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹಲವಾರು ಘಟನೆಗಳು ನಡೆದವು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸಹ ನಾವು ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ನಿನ್ನೆ ನಡೆದ ಅವಷ್ಟು ಸಹ ಅದು ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಅಂತ ಓದ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಆರ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್, ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಆ ಒಂದು ಘಟನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶ ಅದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸಮಾಜದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಥವಾ ದೇಶದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಪರಿಣಾಮವನ್ನು ಬೀರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದಾಗಿದೆ. ಎಸ್, yesterday we woke up first 5:30 and then 6 o'clock we brushed up, that whatever we did, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದಿಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು? ಸೊ ದೇ ಬಿಕಮ್ ವೈಟ್. ಯಾಕೆಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. See, if our focus of study changes, if we began to look at new issues, a new set of dates will appear significant. ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ ಬಂಡಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್, ನೋ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದನ್ನು ಸಹ ನಾವು ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಕಲಿತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಂಗತಿಗಳು. ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ನಾವು ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಏನನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಸೊ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಹಿಸ್ಟರೀಸ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಬೈ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ರಚನೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಮೂಲತಃವಾಗಿ, ಸೊ ಇವು ಭಾರತದ ಇವೇನ್ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ರಿಟನ್ ಬೈ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟೋರಿಯನ್ಸ್. ದ ರೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಚ್ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಜನರಲ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ. ಸೊ ಭಾರತವನ್ನು ಆಳಿದಂತಹ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅವಧಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅವಧಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಜನರಲ್ ರೂಲ್ ಸಹ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. So we know that the first governor general of our country, I mean in the subcontinent, Warren Hastings, and the last viceroy, Lord Mountbatten, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಹಂತವೂ ಸಹ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾದದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಮೆನಿ ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಹೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ವೆಲ್ಲೆಸ್ಲಿ, ಬೆಂಟಿಂಕ್, ಡಾಲ್ಹೌಸಿ, ಕ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್, ಲಾರೆನ್ಸ್, ಲಿಟ್ಟನ್, ರಿಪ್ಪನ್, ಕರ್ಜನ್, ಹಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ಇರ್ವಿನ್. So, like that, it was a seemingly never ending succession of governor generals and viceroys. See, all the dates in these history books were linked to these personalities, to their activities, policies, achievements. So, it was as if there was nothing outside their lives that was important for us to know. We are not going to learn about their personal life. ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಓದಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. Then when we will come to study about Nelson Mandela, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, ಅಥವಾ Mahatma Gandhiji, now there we are concentrated on their personal life also. So that's what, dear students. So ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ರಚನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ದ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ. ಸೊ ಇವೆರಡೂ ಸಹ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಎರಡು ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So the chronology, understood now? The chronology and geography. So these two described as the two eyes of history. Chronology and geography. So dear students, can we not write about the history of this period in a different way? Especially students, how do we focus on the activities of different groups and classes in Indian society within the format of this history of governor generals? Okay. When we write history or a story, we divide it into chapters. Of course, it's a common. So why do we do this? Why we are going to divide the history into different chapters or into different periods? So presently, the history of our India, it's divided into history of ancient India, history of medieval India, and history of modern India. Like that, we are studying. So why this classification or this division is required to study our history? It's very much important. See, it is to give each chapter some coherence. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವಿಚಾರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. It is to tell a story in the way, it is tell a story in the way what especially that makes some sense and can be followed. That makes some sense and can be followed. So in the process, we focus only on those events that help us to give shape to the story. Only those. We are telling in this histories that revolve around the life of British governor generals. The activities of Indians simply do not fit. They have no space. What then do we do? So clearly, dear students, we need another format for our history. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಆ ಒಂದು ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಜನರಲ್ಗಳ ಆಡಳಿತ ಅಥವಾ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಆಡಳಿತದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. Just they were focused on only the governor generals and their policies. That's all. ಆದರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಸಮಾಜದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜೀವನ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಭಾರತೀಯ ನಾಗರಿಕತೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಭಾರತೀಯ ನಾಗರಿಕತೆ ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಂದ ಹಾದಿಯನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಅನದರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. This would mean that the world dates will no longer have the significance they earlier had. A new set of dates will become more important for us to know. So how the British historians they were periodized the history. So first time, dear students, already I explained that in 1817, so one of the Scottish economist and political philosopher was called as James Mill. James Mill was a Scottish economist and political philosopher. So he was published a massive 3-volume work. ಬಹಳ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಿ 3 ಸಂಪುಟಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. A history of British India. So in 3 volumes. A history of British India. See, dear students, so in this volume, James Mill he was divided Indian history into three periods. Into three periods. He was divided our history into three periods. How he was divided and periodized? So, he was periodized, divided history of our country into three periods such as Hindu, Muslim and British. Hindu, Muslim and British. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾನು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸರಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ ಒಂದು ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ಯಾವುದೇ ವಸಾಹತುಶಾಹಿ ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಡೆದು ಆಳುವ ನೀತಿ ಏನಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೂಲ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ, ಆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೂಲ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿನ ಅವರ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ರಚನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೂಲ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಥವಾ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಒಡೆದು ಆಳುವ ನೀತಿ ಅಂತ, ಸೊ ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಮೂಲ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವರು ಈವನ್ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ರಚನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ದ ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಮಿಲ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. He was divided our history into three periods, especially based on religions. See that Hindu, Muslims, British. British means the most Christians. It's based on the religion, the history of our country. So divided based on the religious concept. Or else I can say like that: history of Hindus, history of Muslims, and history of British or Christians. So, this periodization came to be widely accepted. Can you think of any problem with this way of looking at Indian history? Whether or you accept this, if we are going to divide our country history such a way, history of Hindus, history of Muslims and history of British, are you accept? No, I am not ready to accept this, students. See, why do we try and divide history into different periods? Of course, now we are studying and then we are using, while studying our history, history of ancient India, history of medieval India, and history of modern India. ಪ್ರಾಚೀನ ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ, ಮಧ್ಯಯುಗೀನ ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ, ಆಧುನಿಕ ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಹೀಗೆ ನಾವು ಪೀರಿಯಡೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಕಲಿಯೋದಾಗಿದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಥವಾ ಇವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಹಿಂದೂಸ್, ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಮ್ಸ್, ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್, ಹೀಗೆ ಕಲಿಯೋದ್ರ ಒಂದು ಹುನ್ನಾರ ಏನಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್ we do so an attempt to capture the characteristics of a time, its central features as they appear to us. It's a central feature. Of course, medieval ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಆಳ್ವಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ದಬ್ಬಾಳಿಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆಳ್ವಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ದ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ಸ್, ದ ರೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಚೀನ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ದೇ ವರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹಿಂದೂ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲೀಸ್. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಆಧುನಿಕ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ, ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಿಶ್ಚಿಯನ್ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್, ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ರೂಲ್ ಡೈಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಮಿಲ್ he was thought that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. James Mill was thought about he was thought like that all Asian societies were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. So ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ನಾಗರಿಕತೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಾಗರಿಕರಿಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏಷ್ಯನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗಳು, ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಏಷ್ಯನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟೀಸ್ were at a lower level of civilization than Europe. See, according to his telling of history, before the British came to India, Hindu and Muslims despots ruled the country. Hindus and Muslims despots ruled the country. Religious intolerance, caste taboos, and even superstitious practices dominated the entire social life, according to James Mill. Okay, so it was continued like that. James Mill was felt like that. So British rule could civilize India. ಎಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಆ, ಹಾಸ್ಯಾಸ್ಪದ ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಸೊ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ ರೂಲ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಭಾರತೀಯರನ್ನ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಂತೆ, ಭಾರತವನ್ನ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಂತೆ. Of course, dear students, we all of you studied in previous years only about the great civilization which is contributed a lot of and modernized one, the great Indus Valley civilization. So ಆ ಸಿಂಧು ಬಯಲಿನ ನಾಗರಿಕತೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇಡೀ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆದಂತ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಾಗರಿಕತೆಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಅತ್ಯುನ್ನತವಾದದ್ದು ಅವರ ಜೀವನ ಶೈಲಿ, ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ವಾಣಿಜ್ಯ ಸಂಪರ್ಕಗಳು. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರು, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್, ದೇರ್ ಟೌನ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್, the drainage system, granaries, storehouses, everything. They were most civilized compared to all other, I mean, the rest of the civilizations of the world. ಆದರೆ ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಮಿಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ರೂಲ್ ಕುಡ್ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ನಾನ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇವರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಟು ಡೂ ದಿಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಟು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ಸ್. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆ ಒಂದು ಯುರೋಪಿಯನ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ even European manners, arts, institutions and laws in India. He was tried to bring all those things. For what purpose? Could civilize India. Could civilize India. So in fact, suggested that the British should conquer all the territories in India to ensure the enlightenment and happiness of the Indian people. ಇದು ಎಂತ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಸೊ ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಮಿಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ದಟ್ ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಟು ಕಾಂಕರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಟೆರಿಟರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್? ಟು ಎನ್ಶ್ಯೂರ್ ದ ಎನ್ಲೈಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ happiness of Indian people. For India was not capable of progress without British help. So according to James Mill, so the India and Indian people, so they were not at all capable of progress without the help of the British. So dear students, in this idea of history, British rule represented all the forces of progress and civilization. The period before British rule was one of darkness. Can such a conception to whether such a conception be accepted today? No, dear students. So in any case, can we refer to any period of history as a Hindu or Muslim? No. So did not a variety of faiths exist simultaneously in these periods? Only the Hindus, only the Muslims? Why should we characterize an age only through the religion of the rulers of the time? To do so is to suggest that the lives or practices of others do not really matter. We should also remember that even rulers in ancient India did not all share the same faith also. So, moving away from British classification, historians have usually divided Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern. So this division too has its problems. Of course, dear student, it is a periodization that is borrowed from the West, where the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity, science, reason, democracy, liberty and equality. And medieval was a term used to describe a society where these features of modern society did not exist. So, can we uncritically accept this characterization of the modern period to describe the period of our study? As you will see in this book, under the British rule, people did not have equality, freedom, and even the liberty also. Nor was the period one of the economic growth and progress also. So, many historians, dear students, therefore refer to this period as colonial. Are you getting now? So, therefore, many of the historians, so they were referred to this period as colonial. Understood now? Thank you. The next class I am going to continue the revision. Have a nice day. If you have any doubts, okay, regarding anything, so please you can call me and you can ask me. Okay, and it's my kind request. So please go through the textbook, read carefully all the lessons. Totally, there are from history there are three lessons, and from civics there are again, and from geography section there are there is a one lesson. Okay, so you have to concentrate and then learn all these lessons. So totally there are seven lessons for you, from history three, from political science three lessons, and from geography section one lesson. If you have any doubts, you can call me also and then try to clarify the doubts. Okay, and it's my request, please read textbook. The questions will come from middle only. I don't know in which corner the question is going to. Okay, so that's what, dear students, to better understand, please go through the textbook. Thank you. Have a nice day.